Ready?
Yes, sir.
I was born in South Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, before called Saigon. I grew up in the wartime, Vietnam War, so it's very miserable. When I was younger, we peaceful until 1969. So the company come to Saigon and no 68. I'm sorry, 68. Okay, and the company come over try to take over the city. So when, from that time we running away, place to place, and like in at least 4 months.
At this point, Sam is just 10 years old. Months later, when it was safe to return, he went home to look for his house.
And finally we came home, and then find out a house burning down. It's burning down. That's what happened, and then my mom passed out right away. So they changed too much, different. I said no, it's no freedom, no democracy. That's what the government got everything. They watch everything. You can do one, otherwise they put you in jail. So commonly put you in jail for no reason. That's why during the time, like, all teenagers want to get out of the country. No one live there. Okay, even only one chance. 99% you will die in the sea. It's kept from the boat, the wooden boat. So you may die on the sea. Only 1% survive, but a lot of people say, I take 1%, one chance. I will take a chance. Nobody wanted to live in there. It's helps.
Sam and many others from Saigon and South Vietnam fled to Malaysia or Indonesia.
My cousin buy the boat, and they fix it, get everybody together, and they gonna give the government money to let them out. $20 food and boat, okay? We sit when we arrive in Malaysia, 525 people in the boat. That's why we know it. And by the time I arrived, it's the count of 20, over 500 people sit in the boat. So there you go. That's what happened. We survived. So I've been in the sea 7 days, 7 nights on the sea. And I think I'm gonna die, believe me. So somehow we're lucky. We all about people that nobody, every fine, every healthy. That's what happened. That's why we're lucky, believe me. I'm lucky we're alive until today. Okay. In 79, late 78, 79, and early 79, they opened not open the door, just like, you pay the government to get out. And they let you out the water, all right, to the ocean. I think it's in like 1 hour. A transmission, the very broken. The government, the policeman say, we can take you back. So wait for next time. And my cousin said, no, we gotta go. My mechanic, sick, he's sick. I gotta do the work. I'm a mechanic, I do the work. I yelled so bad. I said, why is he sick? You know, you're a mechanic, You're a mechanic, we rely on you. And now you're sick. If I don't know what's it doing? Don't enough park for the engine. Even the shock at one blade, that's it. Somehow we get to it. That's it. Okay, we fix it, I fix it, and we get to it. And then takes 7 days, 7 nights. First time when I see the island, here, like this, in the morning. In 4 o'clock morning, I saw the island like that big. I just should. I told the captain, that's fantastic, okay, the target, okay. Don't make a turn now. If I see them, I'm a bit so bad, believe me. If I was 7 days, it's sick already. 7 days, 7 nights on the sea, can you imagine that? By yourself, by one boat? Right? We wake up like sky and water. That's bad, believe me. And finally we get in the island as a matter of island from it's a Navy base from small bay from Malaysia, and you get there, and then we're gonna pay you. They let you in. They take you. Otherwise they kick you out. All everything's money. That's what happened. And we sit there for 2 weeks and transfer to a big camp, refugee camp. That's what happened. A camp called Pulau Bidong. We put it, and all people, but in back to 80, everybody know Pulau Bidong. But military camp is bad. It was.
Sam describes a personal story that is emblematic of the refugee experience during the Vietnam War era. Starting in the late 1960s and extending to 1975, the war resulted in a massive refugee population, 2 million refugees between Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. The resettlement process was long and arduous, taking place over decades and in an array of countries. The United States, an invading force in Vietnam, played an outsized role in the migration of many displaced peoples. By the early 1990s, over 1 million refugees had been resettled in the U.S. and would change many American towns and cities for the foreseeable future.
Sam, after a relatively safe journey, finally arrived in a refugee camp in Malaysia, one of 8 camps set up by agreements between the United Nations and Malaysia. Daud et al. Describes conditions in UN-commissioned refugee camps on Malaysian islands in the mid-1970s. They note that the Malaysian government towed arriving boats full of refugees to these islands, and that the camps sometimes held 10 times as many people as they were supposed to. The resulting conditions were cramped, leading to many refugees without shelter and too little food and water to go around. Sam describes the conditions at the camp that received him.
I remember the first time we arrived there, okay, the refugee camp, you had no food, no water. You don't even have enough water to supply for the drinking. Okay, a lot of people take a shower in the ocean water and lay down sleep on the beach. I cook myself. And I remember we had go to the mountain, come up the mountain to cut the tree, cut a big tree, cut it down, and take small piece, bring it down home to chop the wood to get fire, to cooking. Until like the late '79, like October, things got better. Right, it got better, so it got food in October. So in May, in May, no food come out. It's bad, believe me. And that's what happened. And because like the UN refugee give people, they give us food for all the refugees, but they don't have enough because the shipment is late.
At this point, Sam is figuring out his next plans, wanting to flee the refugee camps and find a new life. There is talk among the refugees that others have migrated all around the world for a better start.
At that time, the U.S. don't want everybody to come to the U.S. So many people come to the U.S. So they tried to drive people to sick. They said, listen, you want to go to the U.S., you got to go to Philippines for the big refugees to learn English and daily occupation training, skill training before you can graduate, you can come to the USA.
Migration is inextricably linked to labor. Several researchers and authors, including Takanaka and Osaram, Wilson, Maya Pragada, and more, have examined the ways in which work has influenced immigrants and refugees to move to the United States. Immigrants and refugees, Takanaka and Osaram found, have replenished the population exodus in Philadelphia caused by deindustrialization and white flight, and subsequently have fueled the city's economic revitalization through their labor and entrepreneurship. In Sam's case, his cousin sponsored him over to the U.S., where he first landed in Los Angeles for a year in 1980. In L.A., he worked in food service and attended adult high school for refugees. Sam went to school 4 days a week and washed dishes at a restaurant the other 3, but the work and life transition was grueling and took a toll on him.
I got depressed. I don't talk to people. I don't talk to strangers. Even my co-worker in the job shop, I don't talk to. It's like emotional. You're depressed. You're refugee for 2 years. Now come to the country and think of a better life. Look at that. What's a better life here? And I remember that. Even dishwasher, you have to learn. I don't know that, so come. And then my cousin said, easy, take it easy. Just wait. And the chef said, wait. We have time, we teach you. And we help you. That's how I get to it. I work 3 days a week. So 5 days in school. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, work 3 days.
Needing a change, he then traveled to New York, but only stayed there for a short while.
24 hours in New York. I'm serious. They say 48 hours in the bank. I spent 24 hours in New York. I quit.
After a day in New York, he came down to Philadelphia, where he also worked in various restaurants and at some points as a mechanic.
I live in Logan, Texas. Logan, North Philly. That's the refugee came there. All the refugees, Cambodian, Vietnamese, whatever, they all live there. Very big population, all refugees came.
Jacinda Tran writes about the ways in which over 20,000 Southeast Asian refugees resettled into the margins of a racially segregated, deindustrialized city in Philadelphia in the 1980s and 90s. In many cases, refugees were thrust into areas of racial tension, violence, and poverty, and simultaneously blamed for the conditions in which they resided. Somekawa notes that landlords often provided the most dilapidated and out-of-code housing to refugees because of their limited bargaining power, which also led to worsening housing conditions that Black residents fought so hard against in the preceding decades. In Sam's case, he settled in a majority Black neighborhood that also harbored a considerable amount of Southeast Asian immigrants. He recalls violent surroundings, but notes that he steered clear of gang activity.
A lot of youngsters from in the camp with me, they're young, but something 16, 17, 15 years old. A lot of people come over the United States here, and they all over. They join the gang. Some die early, get shot, some accident. I tell them, why worth it? You risk you risk your life for the country. Now you're gonna do something stupid? Not me. I said no, not me.
Sam got his first job in a kitchen, a restaurant called Riverside, which still exists today under the name Ocean City. He describes the hard work that is restaurant labor, which ultimately caused him to have an accident and switch careers.
I got in an accident. My physically going good now. I pull up the cook hard salsa. I bang it down. All the sugar coming to here, my ear. All hot, and then I think for 3 months, and they get back better. Nothing's now. All like burn. All with those cornstarch, everything like burn very hot. Just like the heat over here, if we can fire, I can feel it. That's why. And then I quit the job.
After that, he left restaurant work to be a mechanic, although he emphasizes that his community remained in Chinatown.
You come home, everybody's still working. I woke up at 8:30 in the morning for the work. I get out 5. So I hop in Chinatown and talk with the restaurant, talk with people, and everybody's still working.
In her book titled Ethnic Renewal in Philadelphia's Chinatown, Catherine Wilson describes Chinatowns as both historically segregated spaces and immigrant sanctuaries. She emphasizes the role of segregation, both in terms of ethnicity and gender, explaining how Chinatown formed from the reality that Chinese men were barred from living and working elsewhere. As a result, they took up work in laundries, restaurants, and small commercial enterprises, such as groceries. Sam came to Philly's Chinatown around 100 years after its inception, but his perspective still mirrors many themes that Wilson points out. He focuses on the immigrant sanctuary aspect in his recounting of his life here. As mentioned here and elaborated later in his interview, it's not just a place where he found community, but truly his home. A place of both residence and commerce, Philadelphia's Chinatown is where Sam builds community, in no small part enabled by his participation in the area's food traditions and practices.
Discusses culinary citizenship, the act of growing, cooking, and sharing traditional foods to affirm cultural and social belonging. For Sam, food labor is not only a means of survival, but also an outlet to express identity, honor heritage, and assert his place in Philadelphia. In 1987, Sam opened his first restaurant, Friendly Peking Duck House on 10th Street in Chinatown, then moved on to opening up a big restaurant in Northeast Philadelphia, and later a small restaurant in the Spring Garden area. In 2021, he opened up Little Saigon Cafe, a Vietnamese restaurant on the 10th and Spring Street intersections in Philadelphia Chinatown. Sam uses his restaurant to 1. Display Vietnamese culture, and 2. Fight for Chinatown. In this way, he reinforces Vu's analysis that says serving food can be a means of cultural survival and dignity, even in hostile environments, acting as a resisting force that challenges dominant norms and reclaims rights to space.
The Vietnamese food like more healthy, lighter, and easier than the Chinese restaurant. Chinese restaurant, a lot of preparation work. Okay, and they got many like 20 items there. That's why. That's what happens. Right? And we don't have that many. We just item wise, I can say like just we got 20 items. That's it. Right? We try to make it simple, right? Simple thing and good taste for the community, for the people to come and eat and enjoy. That's it.
Sam has a variety of pho dishes on his menu, but his most popular is the special pho, which comes in a bigger bowl than the other standard pho dishes. He explains the process of making the broth, the most important part of making pho.
The broth we cook for at least 16 hours. Okay, so very slow cooking overnight or 16 hours to get all flavor from the bone. And I put meat in there, like we put a biscuit, 30, okay, beef sang, okay, and beef frank put together, and you get all the flavor out of it. That's what our soup is different.
When a customer orders the special pho, he places the rice noodles in the bowl, places the various toppings on top, including eye-round steak, flank, brisket, beef tendon, beef meatballs, beef shank, fatty brisket, and tripe. Then he ladles on the hot broth on top of everything and serves the bowl of pho with the typical garnishes of basil, mint, jalapeno, bean sprouts, sriracha, and hoisin sauce. Another one of his most popular dishes is the broken rice platter, which comes with broken rice, the customer's choice of protein such as grilled beef or pork chop, a side of fresh salad, and warm soup to wash it all down.
What, beef rice?
Yeah.
We marinated beef with the lemongrass, okay, and fish sauce, and pepper and garlic. That's it, and sugar.
What's your favorite things that you put on the menu?
My favorite thing, first thing, is a spring roll. A spring roll and no meat in there. It's a chicken. Nobody doing it. Only one provide with chicken. Spring roll, and then we got salad. We got that salad, and then you want salad, and we get some the fries good, okay, and the pork chop fries good. Actually, you can put everything good.
Later in her book, Wilson discusses the threats facing Chinatown in a chapter titled, "We Are the Ones Who Should Be Telling the Story." She details trends of gentrification and projects like the recent arena proposal, arguing that they stem from public ignorance towards Chinatown's multifaceted nature. In particular, the public perception of Chinatown largely overlooks its residential character, and Wilson emphasizes that Chinatown means something different to those on the inside versus those on the outside looking in. Sam is certainly an insider, and in the spirit of the title of this chapter, he is the one telling this Chinatown story. Because Sam spent most of his childhood running from home and running from war, he never had a safe place to call home. However, in Chinatown, he has built his community through his restaurant and his Save Chinatown activism through the last few decades, and wants to protect the place he calls home.
I lived in Chinatown over 40 years here. Lived 40 years here. That's my home. I feel safe, never safe in my life. Why? Because I got no life, no home in Vietnam. My house burning down, we're running around, and so I never have a very tough for my age that time people, teenagers try to get normal life in Vietnam. Tough. But Chinatown is my home here. Chinatown is why I lived here for 40 years. I try to bring something good for the community, for the people, not just for all over the people come to eat. I appreciate people come and eat my restaurant. I try to do the best I can, okay, to provide the food, and then the service, whatever. If you come in my restaurant, I make it more comfortable if I can, okay. That's it. That's about Asian culture. Like, food service is tough, believe me. Okay, you can open a restaurant, okay, doing good, but you can't last for 10, 20, 30 years. Know that? Tough. I put all the posters in Chinatown, 300 posters up, and weeks later, by me and my one of my group, all old people come out and do the work. 9 o'clock at night. So I can work in daytime, that's why. And then they come back like 8 in and go, let's go. I first poster 150 pin up. And no enough, so not 150, 300 poster pulled out by 10, all over. And then we done, next couple of days later, say, wow. You see, David Alderman say, Chinatown forward. Now look at that, no winner sign all over in Chinatown. I said, good. Good. Let you know we not silent. We not agree with that. You just say what you want. You try to mislead the community. That's what happens. It's bad. You know that. The community can be strong. Can come back together. Don't get your stupid ID something your personal interest and screw up the whole community. That's bad. You know that. When you do public work for the community, you can be no self-interest at all. All for community.
In 2000, Sam fought against the proposed stadium that the local MLB team, the Philadelphia Phillies, wanted to build, which would threaten and displace Chinatown. Sam and the Chinatown community fought it off, and the team was forced to build in South Philadelphia. Decades later, in 2022, he was part of another Save Chinatown movement, this time against the basketball arena for the Philadelphia 76ers. And in this story of deja vu, that proposal was also canceled for a new proposal in South Philadelphia.
Look here. Here we fight, we roll, and now we vote. Be careful, right? Be well done. Okay, here, look. A cell out here, here goes here.
All we want.
All right? I'll give you a shot, man. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, you want extra large, right? You large and medium. I'll wear large here.
Oh, of course.
Large, okay?
Should we order some?